Casino is casino, so you cannot win against casino. For sports betting, for company doesn't matter which team will win or which team will lose, because it is complicated algorithm behind the scene. It is fully regulated market, it is difficult market, and we need to support people's mental condition. It depends on the culture. In each country, you have really different approach to gambling, to sports betting, and so on.
Hi, it's Chris from Andersen Lab. This is another episode for our interview series on YouTube. Do you get lucky or create your own luck? This is a very good question, and the reason I'm asking it, because today's interview will purely regard the gambling, online games and sport betting industry. And my today's guest is Łukasz Banasik, Head of Engineering for Gaming at Grand Parade, William Hill.
Hello, Krzysztof.
Thank you so much, Łukasz, for accepting Andersen's invitation. And would you mind quickly introducing yourself, explaining about what you do and what's your role about?
I'm Head of Engineering for Gaming at Grand Parade, part of William Hill. In general, we are providing solutions, gaming related, for each market on which William Hill currently operates. And my responsibility is everything what is related to casino, bingo, or poker. So if you, for example, today reached out to the web page type of casinowilliamhill.com, for example, you will reach out to the page which is created by department which I lead. I'm as well owner of TL Center, where I am a trainer and speaker and providing multiple trainings for different companies related to leadership and team management.
As far as I'm concerned, William Hill Group globally is one of the biggest, if not the biggest one, when it comes to online gambling, casinos and sport betting. Is that true?
Absolutely. It is one of the top company when it comes to especially sports betting company. It has a lot of years currently, and it is very famous and very well known company, especially in the UK. For example, when you watch, World Cup, football World Cup, before any big tournament, sometimes journalists has some statements type of, due to William Hill, France has chance to win of World Cup 4-1.
My first question would be regarding the industry itself, because I think it is a common belief that people are somehow biased towards gambling industry as such. How do you think this approach should be resolved, handled, and generally, where does it come from?
It is a case, as you said, because approach to gambling in general in Poland is not so positive. let's put it in this way. But it depends on the culture. In each country, you have really different approach to gambling, to sports betting, and so on. Taking under consideration, for example, UK. In the UK, it is normal for the people when they are visiting a football game. They are going before the football game to sports betting spots and place their bets, place which team is going to win. It's kind of culture for them, and it is very normal for them. For example, another very popular activities in the UK is horse racing. They have big horse racing tournament, probably, event, maybe it's a better word, called Cheltenham. And it is organized one per year, where this Cheltenham is followed by a lot of people. And a lot of people are just bets, so horse is going to win. So it is part of their culture. Here, for example, in Poland, we still have maybe not tradition, but approach to gambling that when you think gambling or poker or whatever, you imagine that person who probably live in the cellar and play underground tournaments, losing their life savings. A lot of people think about poker, for example, that people getting 5 cards, just bet something, win or lose. While poker, I would like to compare maybe even more to chess, or maybe even more to bridge, this card game, because it's one big mathematics and probability. In general, to give you easier example, when you flip the coin, right now, you have 50% of chance that you will hit the tails, or 50% of chance you will hit the heads. If you flip the coin 10 times, for example, there is a big chance you get 8 times tails and 2 times heads, or maybe even 10 times. 10 times in a row you can get the same. But if you flip the coin 10,000 times, 100,000 times, 1 million times, you will be close to 50-50. And it is the essence of the poker. In poker we have something what we are calling outs and odds. In general, in simple words, you play when probability of winning is good enough and price which you can win is good enough based on some predefined conditions. If you're making this decision, let's say 5 times, of course you can lose. But if you make good decision 10,000 times in a row, for example, you have to win, because mathematics and probability will be with you.
You work in the industry that strongly depends on this human factor, psychology, our as a human beings' weaknesses, and those dependencies. How do you feel about it? And do you as an industry representative have some sort of moral guidelines or any kind of best practices? How to take that into the consideration? Maybe help players to mitigate those risks?
We have, and we are obliged to follow the special compliance requirements to provide people enough support. Features which we have implemented are, for example, self-exclusion. You can just self-exclude yourself from playing for 1 month, 3 months, half year, 1 year, and you will not be able to log in again to your account, even you will not be able to log in on different providers' platforms, not only at William Hill. So it is a strongly regulated market. It is one of the examples. You can set up the limits. When you deposit too much money, you can set up a limit. For example, this week I can deposit only $100 and I can make it 2 times, or this month, whatever. On the same time, we as a company have to follow and observe if some specific person is at risk. If specific person is at risk, we need to identify this person as well, and don't, for example, offer to such people special bonuses like free spins. We cannot do this. We as well provide psychologists for addicted people. And I had one case at my team. It was 3 years ago, where one of my team member had a friend. I hope he still has this friend, and he was addicted. He was heavy gambler, and our company proposed psychologist therapy of our internal psychologist to this person. So it is fully regulated market, it is difficult market, and we need to support people's mental condition.
Can a person that is negative about gambling work in companies such as Grand Parade?
My favorite answer, it depends. It really depends. I remember 2 years ago, I wanted to refer one of my friends from the previous company to our company, because I know how good he is, how skilled he is, and I really wanted to have him at our team. But he refused my proposal because we are part of a gambling industry, which was not positive for him, and he didn't want to provide services around this. But gambling for me in general, maybe not directly responding to your question, is kind of entertainment. Let's imagine you are going to theater or cinema, whatever. You need to spend money, you go to cinema, you spend 3 hours in cinema for entertainment, and that's it. You just lost your money. If you treat, from my perspective, gambling like entertainment, you place your bets for your favorite team for fun, not for win much money, not for earn money, not for, have your life savings. Just for entertainment, for me, there is no difference between going to the movie or to the theater, to cinema, whatever. From my perspective, problem with gambling is then when you play not for entertainment, you play for winning. And then we are talking about addiction, and then we need to identify such players or people and help them on mental level. In fact, comparing to what? You can go right now to the shop and buy some alcohol even, yeah? You can. And on the same time, we have a lot of people in the country addicted to the alcohol. The problem is not with existence of alcohol or tobacco industry, which you mentioned on the very beginning. The problem is with overusing the alcohol. Then we are talking about addiction.
And yeah, what I wanted to ask you is if nothing is inherently wrong about gambling and all this stuff that we just covered back in the studio, why are there so many regulations around it? There are even things that we were kind of constrained to talk about in details, right? What's your opinion on this?
About regulations, it's a complex question, and I think it is all because of history. As I used to say on the very beginning, when it comes to Poland, we are not very familiar with gambling in general. We are familiar with Lotto, for example, and comparing to Lotto is still available in Poland, where it is purely lottery. While on the same time, poker, when there is a lot of mathematics and probability, it's still not.
Just 3 words: quick, reliable, and assured. Andersen's philosophy, powering your success. Seeking a fast track to turn your concept into a working product? Enhance your team with proven experts or entrust us with the entire development process. Schedule a free consultation on our website and kickstart your project in just 3 days.
You lead a team of more than 40 people, developers, software engineers. Is that correct?
It's correct, yeah.
What's the biggest challenge in managing those people in gambling industry? Is it somewhat different than in any other industries? Do you have some particular techniques when it comes to handle some sort of management stuff?
Being fully honest, I don't see a lot of difference comparing gambling industry to, for example, any other industry in which I had the chance to work. Really, it's just a matter of combination of technology and people. So everywhere you need to deal with people, we need to play together with people, build your teams, and rely on technology. Even more, my personal observation, is that developers sometimes doesn't even care what they are preparing. They just produce the code. On the code level, for them, it's just next piece of code. It's just next feature which they need to deliver. Especially taking under consideration that in Poland gambling is not so popular, then we are really detached as a people from this gambling industry. As a result, people don't really sometimes understand what they develop. They just develop and provide something. So maybe It is only one thing on which I pay special attention, and during our regular demos, I try to collect all the team members, ask team leaders and product owners to perform some demonstration, what we achieved, why we are doing something, what is going to change from end user perspective, what will be the benefits, what will be the revenue of implementing specific feature or whatever, stuff like this. But in general, in 90%, 99 maybe even percent is same story as everywhere.
Łukasz, what does it mean to you being a facilitator?
For me, being a facilitator for my department, I suppose, is to be a leader, is to be a mentor on the same time. And when it comes to some, let's say, technical tips or some tangible evidence what I'm doing, I'm fully passionate about Kenneth Blanchard situation leadership, but based on my experience, I would say it is my modified version. And being a facilitator for such big department is about trust to people, delegate what I can, not delegating what I cannot delegate, and provide people enough support, understand their needs, understand that I cannot be leading a big department. I cannot be deeply involved in each initiative. At some level, I need to say enough and just trust people. I don't know, you are going to, you are building your home, your new home, and you have a group of people which needs to construct this home, and the leader of or normal employees which needs to build this home are start asking questions like what is a concrete, for example, or how to use it, because the leader doesn't understand it, and you have to explain all these simple terms to your leader. My personal observation of being a team leader in general in IT is some of the team leaders would like to be focused on 80% or even 90% on technology only, and other people would like to be focused on 80% or 90% or sometimes even 100% only on people management role. In fact, you need to balance it somehow. You need to understand both technology and people aspects. That's why I identified it as a need of our market and decided to build some kind of trainings, which I mentioned previously, and create my own TL Center company, which helps people and team leaders to build more effective team, on the same time providing enough quality and focus on technicalities.
And how about multitasking? What would you say about this one in this, IT leadership management, people's management technology? What's the role of multitasking?
Well, multitasking is extremely important, and I have a feeling that multitasking, if you are working on, let's say, higher position, like you are promoted to team leader, then to manager, then to head of engineering, then to director, this multitasking is getting more and more complicated. In each day, you have to switch fluently between one topic to another topic. What helps me with multitasking is prioritizing with purpose. I was an expert one time on, it was 1 year ago from the top of my head, on one of the panel where I was discussing about prioritizing with purpose. So in short, it's about eliminating tasks which are not really important. It's about automating tasks which can be automated. It's about delegation and even sometimes procrastination and waiting what will happen with these specific tasks. And multitasking is strongly connected from my perspective with prioritizing, delegation, trusting with people, because I don't have to do everything by my own. I have a people which can help me and do the same stuff. If they are expert in some specific field, I let these people to grow, on the same time take some responsibility, more responsibility, make them visible on the company level, prepare some ground for promotion in the future. So maybe right now I'm thinking out loud, but multitasking is maybe even more about delegation and prioritizing and giving people chance to grow. That's my perspective right now, you know?
So do you have sort of a prescription? How do you ensure that your team delivers actually what needs to be delivered? Also having in mind your experience and your coach-trainer background?
I think in order to measure effectively team, you need to have implemented relevant KPIs and KVDs. And it is fully on the metrics level. And when it comes to tracking a progress of specific people, like on one-to-ones, I'm making notes after each one-to-ones with my team leaders and people which are reporting to me. As I said previously, I'm passionate about Kenneth Blanchard's situational leadership. That's why I try to identify if this specific person is expert on some specific field, on the task which we are doing right now, or he's totally novice on this specific field. I try to assess his motivation and experience, and based on these two factors, I can assess and can determine how often this person would like to have with me some kind of things, would like to have some guidance, how deeply I have to be involved.
On your LinkedIn profile, I found the information that your improvements in process and basically what your team under your leadership does generates 335,000 of yearly savings to your company?
Only this year. Only this year. And I referred only to processes. I mean people, on people level. Because it was about rebuilding our teams. It was about unifying our departments, because previously company had two different departments. One department responsible for .com market. Inside this .com market was the greatest market, United Kingdom, and we have different departments responsible for Italian and Spanish market only. As a result, because United Kingdom market was more advanced, people working for Italy and Spain were always ahead of the plan. They just follow current implementation, what we have right now on the UK market. So it was like copy and paste, copy and paste. So we rebuild department, we make teams not responsible anymore for the market, but for technology and for the product. So right now we have teams responsible for product A, for this our casino product, and doesn't matter if this team is working for Italian market, Spanish market or .com market. It's all about the business, to prioritize, to identify what will bring us the biggest revenue and so on, and then we can play more effectively with our priorities. So it was one of the improvements which I implemented. Other improvement was in this previous department responsible for Italian and Spanish market, we had a lot contractors. As a result, we had big rotation and so on. So I decided to, let's say, transfer even some contractors from outsourcing company to us. Of course, it cost us some fee, but in long run perspective, it saved us a lot of money from operational perspective, of course. On the same time, we implemented a lot of improvements when it comes to our AWS infrastructure, because we are fully on AWS. We modified improvements, we optimized our scaling, we optimized our usage of the resources which we are using on AWS, on the same time reducing carbon footprint, because it's a side effect. You need less number of, GPU, some space in the world when Amazon Web Services has their central of operations, doesn't produce so much worm. So it was about not only these activities, was not only about reducing our spendings, but as well about reducing our carbon footprint. But to this we saved a lot of money as well. But I don't remember exact numbers, but it is in hundreds of thousands of dollars as well, yearly.
What's the measure of success? What's the profits measure and simply success stories from your perspective?
I think it's just revenue. It's just revenue of our company. How we measure the revenue is like in every other company. It's about money which we can generate implementing some specific feature in that aspect. For example, recently we implemented, maybe not recently, right now we are going to implement a new feature responsible for jackpot bet, and it is estimated to bring us revenue somewhere about 5 million, 6 million pounds per year. But in general, if I'm not talking about only revenue, which can bring us some specific feature implementation or whatever, number of players is important as well, because more players you have, more revenue you will generate. Why it is important? For example, taking under consideration poker, when people are playing poker for William Hill, doesn't matter if you will win or I win. It doesn't matter totally. You can because if in the prize pot we have $100, for example, operator, in that case William Hill, always take relevant fee from this prize pot. It will be, let's say, $3.50 from $100. So if more people is playing poker at William Hill, we generate more revenue because this fee will be higher. But who will win doesn't matter for operator, in that case William Hill. Reflecting to casino, casino is casino. So you cannot win against casino. For example, referring to flipping the coin, it is 50-50. Roulette has 18 fields of black from the top of my head, 18 fields of red, and 1 green. And this 1 green make the difference, and people doesn't understand it, because there you don't have 50-50 chance. Even if you bet only red or only black, at some point you will hit this green and you will lose, even if you have some sophisticated techniques. How it looks like for sports betting? For sports betting, for company doesn't matter which team will win or which team will lose, because it is complicated algorithm behind the scene which calculates probability. And for example, if home team win and X number of people already place bets for this home team, Y number of people place bets already for draw, and Z number of people already place bets on away team, this algorithm adjusts the values which you can adjust this revenue, these odds, which are assigned to each specific team or to each specific result, and make it in that way. Doesn't matter for the company which team will win, company should generate revenue, because it is about number of money which users already place bets and on specific result.
And talking about casinos themselves, because there's this famous saying, the house always wins, right? And we know all that. How about being on the operator perspective? My question would be, can the house lose? Has there even been a product in your company that wasn't profitable? Did you create something that, I don't know, allowed significant number of players win and you lost on the investment?
I wouldn't say there is something like product what is not profitable, but this year we had a bonus promotion campaign where we lost money because we started to give people money for free. It was £5 per person for some requirements, of course, but these £5 could be withdrawn practically immediately. So what happened? A lot of people just withdraw those money immediately. So we lost in this campaign a lot. But comparing to other let's say, big actions we had 1 month ago or 2 months ago, one of our user hit the jackpot and he won, from the top of my head, about £5 million.
Wow.
£5 million.
What was the game?
It was a spinning game. It was like typical slot game.
Okay.
But jackpot is something what is hidden behind the game. So you have a one spin and you see if you won, but on the background you have hidden spin. You can hit the jackpot or not. This happy user hit the jackpot and won about £5 million of £5 million.
And he was absolutely not connected to any of the company's owners or something like this, right?
Not at all. Moreover, this jackpot is shared between many different providers.
Okay, so
that's why it was so big.
Okay, so that was the actual example of how the player can win against the house, right?
Exactly.
Okay, and maybe talking about the cheating itself. Is it possible for players to cheat online against the house on one hand and on the other against other players, for instance,
Against the
playing
house,
poker?
I don't think so, because probability is on our side, let's say, is on the client, or is on the house side. But when it comes to poker and when players are playing against different players, then they can cheat. It's easy. We can play on against, let's say, 4 opponents, and we play together. I tell you which card I have, you tell me your cards, and we have advantage when it comes to probability comparing to this our opponent.
There are multiple locations for offline casinos, like, I don't know, Las Vegas, Macau, right? Monte Carlo, exactly. What's the future of those? Will the iGaming absolutely outperform offline casinos eventually? And I mean, will I be able in 20, 30, 50, 100 years go for a bachelor's party and play in my favorite Las Vegas casino? Is gonna be absolutely no-go?
Oh, I think it's totally different experience. You know, it's like comparing watching football on TV comparing to watching football at stadium. It's totally different experience, and I'm almost sure they will survive and will survive years.
All right, so no worries about this one, right? And talking about the locations and countries, because like I mentioned, when it comes to old school offline casinos, there is Las Vegas, there is Atlanta, there is Macau in China, right? Monte Carlo, like you said. And when it comes to iGaming and online casinos, what are the most favorable countries, so to say, that are not sure whether call them gambling meccas, but still, you know, the countries that regulations and basically create the environment favorable for gambling activities online?
I would say United States and United Kingdom.
Why?
In our case, United Kingdom, because of culture and a lot of people are playing together with us there, while States, there is Las Vegas and stuff like this, so it is in their culture as well.
So my question will be regarding the data protection and the policies that operators apply in order to provide players with the decent and acceptable or even desired level of security, because at the end of the day, in order to gamble, you need to verify yourself, you need to be an adult, you need to provide your documents, there is a money transfer, bank details, and so on and so forth. So people may be worried about their data. Yeah. So how does it look like?
Yeah, know your customer. It is a really important part of our company, and we need to verify literally each customer, each user on our company by verifying the ID. We have some automation around this, by verifying their accounts, sometimes bills, in order when they want to withdraw the money. So we have a lot of policies already implemented when it comes to know your customer policy. And of course, because people are deposit money using, credit cards, using some online payment methods, we need to cover all this data. We have a lot of sensitive data of our users, so we need to take care of it really carefully, because we are operating on very regulated market. And we have two departments dedicated, not even one, but two departments dedicated for data security in our company. One is just information security, and second one is security operations. And they are controlling if we are follow all the guidance and technology requirements to keep this data secured. Exactly. On the same time, we have another department responsible for compliance, which is controlling if we apply all policies and so on. So we have a lot of layers to make sure we follow all the requirements applied on the specific market.
All right. And does cloud help in this regard? You mentioned that you're AWS fully, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. AWS really helps us with this. AWS has built-in functionalities which allows us to prevent people data from hackers. AWS has dedicated resources which really take care of this privacy and data security. They have team dedicated just to build some solutions which allows us to, be sure that data which we are storing are really secured. So if we have to keep such department in our company, I think it will generate a lot of spendings on such teams. So I think AWS is amazing in such case.
If you could very briefly in 3-4 sentences sum up how do you protect players from maybe not their own, but assuming if somebody is addicted, what are the measures that operators undertake to help them simply and don't allow them to hurt themselves?
You mean in terms of spending too much money, yeah?
In terms of spending too much money, or simply maybe preventing them from being addicted?
I partially answered it already, because we have these features like self-exclusion, which user can self-exclude, but we as a company have a possibility of exclude some specific people. So based on data which we are collecting, and for example, hey Krzysztof, I see today you deposit already only today $300, and you would like to deposit more $300 more, and over the last week you did the same operation already 10 times. So we will be our services will spot this case, and specially assigned person will analyze this situation in details, and following the rules on these regulated markets can make decision. This person should be blocked or shouldn't be. We should reach out to this person and offer some psychologist or some consultancy or whatever, and so on. This is how it looks like on our reality.
Łukasz, last but not least, I have a list of short questions prepared for you, if you don't mind, just at the end. The first one is, are you an active gambler yourself? Since when?
Currently, I'm not. I used to play poker. But from the top of my head, it was 2009 when in Poland our government introduced some regulation around gambling. And since this moment, I cannot play, unfortunately, but I love play poker. For me, it's pure passion, I really love it. For me, it was like I said on the very beginning, like chess. It was very intellectual game. Requires from my side kind of preparation, take some risk, make good decision, analyze, and so on. Before 2009, I played at Polish Poker Championship and University Polish Championship. Both of these tournaments were organized by Everest Poker, from the top of my head. I played as well at Polish Cup, organized by Full Tilt Poker, and I played once on Unibet series of poker in Prague. It was international tournament in 2009. And since that moment, we cannot fully legally play poker, online poker in Poland. We can play at casino, but taxes are extreme right now. It is about 25% of tax of winning from poker tournaments. So taking under consideration that what I said on the very beginning of our discussion, because poker is about mathematics and probability and this ratio, what you should do and how much you can win, this tax is too high to play poker and gather some money. Then, if I still play poker, I could be considered as heavy gambler because I cannot win.
Is playing gambling games a sin?
No, not at all. It's just entertainment.
The concept of a future world-famous game, if not poker, then what?
Then poker. No, but back in the days, at 2009, I'm not sure if it's still a case, but people play even backgammon for money. I'm not sure if you know what is backgammon, but another name of this game is trick track. Or it is two players has red and black elements and they roll the dice and make some smart movements. Maybe this game, but I'm guessing.
All right. Free spins or a positive balance on your game accounts for registration?
For registration,
yes.
Positive balance.
Positive balance, all right. Are you for or against the legalization of gambling everywhere?
I'm for.
All right. Online or offline gambling?
Depends. Online gives you more flexibility. So right now I have 1 hour of time and I can play. But experience of offline is very unique. So I would say offline is better and more interesting for the people. Absolutely. I prefer offline, but if you don't have enough time, go for online.
All right. And the last question before we end is, what's the future of the gambling industry? It used to be just casinos. Right now it's gambling as such. What's next?
Oh, good question. I don't know. Maybe we had even 3D poker 10 years ago, at least. It was organized by pkr.com. But next, maybe something on metaverse. I don't know. AR, augmented reality, maybe stuff like this.
And if there was one to choose, your top one dreamed iGaming project that you would like to participate in and develop and run, what would it be?
I think this project for sure will be related to World Series of Poker. It's like World Cup in poker, so it would be the best for me.
You
Absolutely.
mean the online championship of poker?
Online, because it's a lot of stuff to prove on technology level. So it is
And
absolutely.
why?
Because of just poker, and I think it is something what has a lot of prestige, and it just attracts me.
Top 3 advices for young professionals willing to pursue a career in iGaming industry. What would you recommend them?
iGaming, maybe I will answer in IT in general. Be curious. Try first one. Second one, try what you can. Try what you can, and find your. Thanks of this fact, you will find your spot in each market. In fact, and 3, don't be focused only on development when you are a developer, and don't be focused when you are leader or whoever, Scrum Master, only on project management. Try to build your skills in different domains, just in order to be better person and easier person to collaborate.
Perfect. Łukasz, thank you so much once
Thank you,
again for
Krzysztof.
your time. Fruitful conversation. I really enjoyed it. And it's been a real pleasure.
Thank you. It
Thanks
was
so
pleasure
much.
for me too.
Cheers.